Despite the obvious risks and heavy penalties, some people continue to drive like lunatics, and now our exclusive videos catch out the worst offenders.
Swerving, speeding, spinning out of control. These are the drivers you don't want to cross.
Outrageous and just absolutely dangerous.
Reckless rogues driving dangerously, risking their own lives and ours.
It's just a blatant disregard for anyone else on the roads.
And now we expose Australia's worst drivers in these never-before-seen videos.
It's as though they own the roads and we've all got to get out of their way.
This truckie's in one almighty hurry. As if intimidating the driver in front isn't enough, he then decides to overtake in the emergency lane. He flies up on the inside with no margin for error between his rig and the car in front. He needs all the room he can get as he swerves right, cutting straight across the exit ramp, forcing another driver to take evasive action.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
The truckie's actions leave driving expert Ian Luff in shock.
This truck driver must be kidding himself. A fully loaded rig driving down the breakdown lane. This driver won't have his licence for much longer.
But he's not the only one driving by his own rules. And it's not just happening on major roads. Watch what happens when this impatient driver thinks no one's looking.
The truck goes around the roundabout. The other driver decides to take a shortcut and do the undercut. Talk about crazy driving and downright dangerous.
Put yourself in this driver's seat. It's their quick reactions that avert a crash thanks to another driver's stupidity. Alarmingly, it's the kind of scenario that plays out every single day across Australia. This bloke's got all the time in the world to cut somebody off, but no time to find a helmet. And this lollipop lady can't even get off the road before an impatient driver risks her life by putting the foot down. As for red lights, some drivers consider them nothing more than a nuisance. And to hell with anyone coming the other way, obeying the law.
It's stuff that we see every day and we sit there and we shake our heads and we wonder why these people are allowed to be on our roads.
Ex-policeman Damien Marrett is from Community Against Crime, a volunteer group which catches bad drivers in the act using fixed in-car cameras.
You might hear people call us vigilantes. We're not going out, we're not arresting people ourselves. We're basically handing it on to police because they don't have the resources to follow up.
It's hard to mount a defence when you're caught red-handed, like this lunatic tearing up the Hume Highway, leaving somebody else who's sitting near the speed limit for dead. Or this motorbike rider whose idea of defensive driving is doing an Evel Knievel through a busy shopping centre. Pity the poor pedestrian they nearly knock over in the process. Then there's this fool in fluoro going about his business with no safety harness and no idea he's being filmed.
It's behaviour that can end up, in deaths and serious injuries. They don't deserve to have a licence and they shouldn't be sharing the roads.
Acting Superintendent David Griffin from Victoria Police.
There's no place on our roads for people who don't accept responsibility at the level that they're required to.
And don't be fooled, he says these days there's eyes everywhere.
The eyewitness account and the camera account of those incidents certainly provide us with evidence that we might need to progress further with the prosecution.
And it may be all the evidence an insurance company needs.
One person's word against another person's word. So if that footage could be handed to your insurance company, it pretty much alleviates any sort of discrepancies.
It's scenes like this that show just how quickly things can turn pear-shaped. Through no fault of their own, this driver and his passenger come perilously close to injury.
You right? Yep, I'm right. I'm right. You right? Yep. You right? Are you right?
And it's hard to argue with evidence like this. Captured by a Melbourne driver who was completely in the right.
I honestly believe that this is the future of driving. I believe cameras in cars will eventually be in all new cars.
Those who show no respect for the road rules will have to account for themselves in a court of law.
The more and more cameras that we start putting in cars, the higher the likelihood you'll be caught.
And we'd like to know your thoughts on that story. Jump on our Facebook page or you can send us a tweet and have your say.